Across countless cultures and centuries, one figure has appeared again and again, cloaked in black robes, carrying a razor-sharp scythe, with a face hidden beneath a hood. This figure has become the very symbol of death itself. Welcome back to Legends from the Shadows, the channel where myths, monsters, and legends come alive in the darkness. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe. Every week, we explore the mysteries that have haunted humanity for thousands of years. We call him the Grim Reaper. But where did this terrifying figure come from? Was the Reaper born from ancient mythology? Was he inspired by real historical events? And why have people around the world become so fascinated by a being that represents the inevitable end of life? Tonight, we'll journey into the shadows to uncover the truth behind one of history's most enduring legends. Although the Grim Reaper himself is relatively modern, the idea of a supernatural guide who escorts souls into the afterlife is ancient. In Greek mythology, the god Hades ruled over the underworld, but he was not responsible for carrying souls to their final destination. That task belonged to a mysterious figure known as Charon, the ferryman of the dead. According to legend, Charon carried the souls of the deceased across the rivers that separated the world of the living from the world of the dead. To pay for the journey, coins were often placed over the eyes of the deceased before burial. Other cultures had their own versions of death. The ancient Egyptians worshipped Anubis, the jackal-headed guardian of tombs. In Norse mythology, the goddess Hel ruled over the realm that bore her name. In many traditions, death was not merely an ending, but a powerful force with its own personality and purpose. Yet none of these beings looked anything like the Grim Reaper we know today. Everything changed in the 14th century. Between 1347 and 1351, one of the deadliest pandemics in human history swept across Europe. Known as the Black Death, the plague claimed the lives of millions of people. Entire villages disappeared, streets became silent, families were torn apart. Death became a constant and terrifying presence. During this period, artists began depicting death as a walking skeleton. The image was impossible to ignore. Beneath the skin, every human being was the same. Kings and peasants alike would eventually be reduced to bone. People soon began referring to this skeletal figure as death itself. The black robe represented mourning and the darkness of the grave. The hood concealed the figure's identity, emphasizing that death could come for anyone at any time. Perhaps most importantly, the Reaper carried a scythe. Farmers used scythes to harvest crops, cutting down entire fields with sweeping motions. In the same way, death was believed to harvest human souls when their time had come. The symbolism was powerful, and it spread rapidly across Europe. As the centuries passed, another legend grew in popularity. Artists created images known as the Dance of Death, or Danse Macabre. These paintings showed skeletons dancing alongside kings, priests, merchants, soldiers, and common laborers. The message was simple, but chilling. No matter how wealthy, powerful, or famous someone might become, death would eventually claim everyone. These images appeared on church walls, in books, and throughout towns and villages. They served as constant reminders that life was fragile and unpredictable. Slowly, the image of the Grim Reaper evolved into the familiar figure we recognize today. Over time, stories about the Grim Reaper took on a life of their own. Some people claimed the Reaper was not evil, but merely a guide responsible for leading souls into the next world. Others believed seeing the figure was an omen of approaching death. There are countless tales of people describing a tall, hooded figure standing silently at the foot of a bed. Some claim to have encountered the Reaper in dreams, while others insist they saw him moments before a loved one passed away. In popular culture, the Reaper has appeared in books, films, television shows, and video games. Sometimes he is terrifying and merciless. Other times he is portrayed as a lonely and solemn servant carrying out an eternal duty. Regardless of the interpretation, the image remains remarkably consistent. The hood, the skeletal face, the scythe, the silent footsteps. Together, these symbols have transformed the Grim Reaper into one of the most recognizable figures in human history. Perhaps the reason the Grim Reaper continues to fascinate us is because he represents the one mystery that every human being shares. No matter where we come from, what language we speak, or what we believe, we all wonder what lies beyond the veil. The Grim Reaper stands at the edge of that mystery, waiting patiently in the darkness. But is he a monster, a messenger, or simply a reflection of humanity's oldest and deepest fears? That is for each of us to decide. Thank you for joining us here on Legends from the Shadows. If you enjoyed this journey into myth and history, be sure to like and subscribe, and let us know which legend you would like us to explore next. Until next time, keep looking into the darkness, because you never know what might be looking back.